Hello, my name is Margaritta Fultz, and I am an industrial organizational psychology student. This presentation is entitled The Transformational Justice Practicum Tour from Illinois State Capitol to Washington, D.C. Adler University's social justice practicum experiences with Faith Coalition for the Common Good consistently place me in the right places at the right time for today's polarizing social justice interactions. Let's talk about Faith Coalition for the Common Good's historical beginnings. FCCG is a faith-based coalition whose approach to community economic stability was founded in 2008 on community holism, engagement, workforce diversity, economic equity, criminal justice reform, educational access and equity, and civic engagement. Community holism is constructed from addressing disparities historically and systemically observed within the east side of Springfield, Illinois' community and households that look starkly different than the west side of Springfield, Illinois. FCCG is made up of 35 faith organizations, nonprofits, and unions, and empowers members to speak out and participate in political, environmental, social, transformational justice, and equity issues by formally training them to leverage self and social interests. Faith Coalition for the Common Good's mission is to empower common community issues by making community members aware of their living conditions, environment, and community social problems so that they may be addressed and cleared to resolve these disparities and systems of oppression prevalent to the east side of Springfield, across the state of Illinois, within our region, and across our country where Black, brown, and poor and other marginalized and minorities live, work, and express their faith beliefs. Faith Coalition for the Common Good's vision is to build community, build power with the city, state, and national leaders, and to coalesce annually and regularly around justice issues to restore our homes, vibrant civic engagement, and economic stability. Faith Coalition for the Common Good is not a charity and does not provide any social services or charitable programming to the community. By no stretch of the imagination could a community member come to Faith Coalition for the Common Good to receive assistance in the form of social services or resources. They would be connected to other coalition members, churches, union representatives, or nonprofits that provide service delivery to receive monetary, nutritional, legal, disability, youth, family, or mental health services. FCCG does invest in community members like me who have been impacted by various systems of oppression to provide formalized leadership training. This leadership training features agitation, clarity of self and social interests, and building power through public relationships with municipal, educational, medical, state, national, and other forms of leadership and power. That is what FCCG does. Two other prominent themes of what Faith Coalition does, and develops in community leaders like me is social interest based on community empowerment and followed up by action. There is no empowerment on an individual, group, or community level without making demands, speaking out, disrupting, canvassing, and building power through civil and civic engagement. These activities are embedded in social responsibility and transformational justice. Through the Faith Coalition for the Common Good, I was able to leverage the virtual and in-person training to lobby in support of the implementation of the SAFETY Act, which is the Safety, Accountability, Fairness, and Equity Today Act. This is a comprehensive bill that abolished cash bail and made detention the most restrictive outcome for low-level, non-violent arrest, which transformed the experiences of poor people all over the state of Illinois by allowing them to return to their homes, return to their families, and their jobs, as they no longer have to mortgage their homes, choose between bailing out or paying rent, or lose their children as a result of being detained pre-trial because they could not afford to pay cash bail. Other projects were lobbying for evidence-based funding for K-12 institutions in Illinois and equity/adequacy-based funding for students accessing colleges and universities in Illinois. I lobbied for the renters' rights to lift the ban on rent control for affordable housing, and held quarterly power meetings with Springfield's police chief, alders, the state's attorney, and served on coalition panels. Day-to-day tasks kept me busy at least twice per week. Some weeks were much busier as community issues arose. A few of the tasks that I was responsible for were collaborating with other community leaders and community organizers, showing up to local events, preparing correspondence and emails for local, state, and national legislators. I canvassed on the weekend with Faith Coalition and MH Action, doing integrated voter engagement activities, which were very much like power canvassing, as we asked community members for feedback on local issues and actions and asked them to show up and disrupt the status quo. I also participated with several communities and committees doing committee work, did fundraising, planning, phone banking, and such. I prepared talking points for transformational justice and community justice themed lobbying, and I prepped and participated for social actions, speaking out in support of criminal justice reforms and against police violence and over-incarceration. My list of deliverables were an article in the Illinois State Capitol's newspaper, making our community aware of opportunities to join the Transformational Justice Task Force and lobby with over 400 Illinoisans at the state capitol on advocacy and activism days. We promoted pretrial fairness. I taught a business on the move workshop at our local church for Faith Coalition for the Common Good. I wrote a letter to the chief of police regarding the response of his officers and their failing to protect human worth and sustain human life of Earl Moore Jr., who was murdered by 2 ambulance drivers. I testified on Zoom to the Illinois Board of Higher Education to get equity-based funding for higher ed as a product of Illinois Public Higher Ed, who has substantial loan debt, and also in my role as an educational equity advocate and activist who believes adequacy-based funding is necessary for underserved, marginalized, and minoritized students who wish to access higher education. My most recent deliverables were going to Washington, D.C. with MH Action as a representative of Faith Coalition for renters' rights, housing justice, and to lobby in support of manufactured and mobile home tenants and an owner's Bill of Rights in the U.S. Senate, Bill S-2204. One of my most substantial deliverables was a Business on the Move workshop that I led for 10 weeks. This class was to encourage people of color, poor people, and formerly detained individuals to develop a business plan to realize their entrepreneurial dreams. Faith Coalition has an R3 grant that funds our paying canvassers to do peer-to-peer, one-to-ones with residents on the east side of Springfield. This grant also has capacity for Faith Coalition to undertake 20 sub-grantees. The funding that they would be applying for would be either to build capacity for their business or fund service delivery, and would be based on their business plan, their proposal, their budget, and commitment to restore, renew, and reinvest on Springfield's east side. I taught twice a week over the 10 weeks and planned a graduation ceremony for the 8 students who completed the program. This is a recyclable deliverable that I will certainly do further evaluation of and repeat during the spring of 2024, provided I have the economy of time. I have to mention that Faith Coalition is a partner member of the Gamaliel Network. As a part of the network, I have participated in the National Leadership Training, which is a boot camp style national leadership training for community organizers and community leaders. We were taught to engage in political debate and to use persuasion pertaining to our self and social interests. We were taught to develop self-interest versus selflessness and selfishness so that we could leverage that self-interest to build public relationships with community, state, and national leaders for equity, equality, and civil rights. I learned to make demands and enact my own liberation through advocacy and activism for myself, my family, my community, and for my race and my culture. My epiphany was understanding the tokenism and selflessness that I was socialized by my parents and church family to rely on that really got me nowhere. Until I awakened my sensibilities to advocating for fair wages, social justice, and equity in my community, and various reforms such as pretrial fairness, adequacy-based educational funding, and renters' rights, I felt like a sitting duck, helpless, hopeless, and lacking self-determination. I learned to evaluate and debrief after each event, each action, and plan next steps before the conclusion of one event to the next, and to always remain forward-thinking for the coalition, the network, and for myself. Now I have a skill set that cannot be forgotten, abandoned, or sloughed off, as it originated from my self-interest and my self-determination, as Alfred Adler would have characterized it, and it is socially embedded in shared social interests and a sense of belonging, dignity, and justice that is my goal for myself and my community. I cannot unknow the systems of oppression that require my goal-directed actions to protect human worth and sustain human life, to empower others to rely on self-determination, and to coalesce against systems of oppression and discrimination. I promote justice and equity. I recognize and disrupt attributes and policies and systems of oppression. I use mindfulness to stay strong and to stay resilient. Now that I have developed this skill set afforded to me by the investment of Gamaliel Network and the Faith Coalition for the Common Good, there isn't anything stopping me from empowering my community, my family, and others I come in contact with and engage with. What do? I teach, I train, and I empower coalition members, common community members, and our neighborhoods to organize and lead with their hopes, their faith, their voices, and their actions through voting and civic engagement, and also through community equity activism. I will continue to move forward and host community focus groups using appreciative inquiry to tap into the needs and desires of people of color, poor people, neurodiverse people like me, who are surviving and thriving with dyslexia, autism, and disabilities you cannot see. I'll continue to speak out for the over-incarcerated and court watch. And I'll continue to testify with the Illinois Board of Higher Education and the Illinois State Board of Education for educational equity, access, and adequate funding. Again, my name is Margaritta Fultz, and I do fight the good fight. I am a community leader, and this social justice practicum allowed me to develop, hone, and improve social justice skills, community advocacy, and activism, thought, discourse, and actions. I will continue to speak up, speak out, write justice, and lead actions focused on my human family and the community. Thank you for allowing me to take you on a transformational justice tour from Springfield, Illinois to Washington, D.C. and back. I thank you for your time.